Good.
Terry, how are you?
I am so good. Thank you so much for asking.
I have to tell everybody in the world that I've made Terry adjust this appointment twice, and so I'm a little sheepish. I'm so glad that she's still agreed to come on this our little podcast of healing miracles. So Terry, thank you.
You're welcome.
So this is just me reaching out at people that I know have done very, very well and have healed and have gone through those processes. And this is done in hopes that somebody else who's struggling can relate to something that you've struggled with and can have some hope. So there's no money, there's no nothing like that, of course, but it's a podcast to give people hope that are home thinking, man, there's no one that could be dealing with what I'm dealing with, or I have no idea what to do, or I'm not sure where to go. So I'm appreciative of you coming on and sharing your story.
Sure, thank you. Anytime.
So I guess I could just start by saying, when did it get dark, or when did things start to get unstable for you? When did things start to kind of come apart, or and why, if you know?
Sure. Like about 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with lupus.
Mm.
And at the beginning it was such a shock. And it went downhill from there. The treatments and many of the treatments didn't agree with me until right now I'm on infusions. But for a while, the infusions were not doing their job. I mean, I was feeling tired all the time and achy, the joints, the pain. It was so bad. So one time, I think it was in January. I was, really struggling, and my husband took me to one of my infusions, and he heard somebody talking about, this a place, a healing place,
Hmm.
and he researched it. I don't think they were talking about the bridge,
Oh,
but he researched it and he found you guys. So, I was in a very dark place, feeling very sorry for myself.
yeah.
I never suffered from depression or anything, but after staying at the bridge, I thought, maybe I had depression. Maybe I was depressed.
Yeah. Well, and I remember you checking in. You seemed very hopeful, even though things were very tricky. You were one of those during orientation that I thought, wow, she's got a spark. She already believes that she can do something about this. A lot of people come in really down and out, and in a lot of trouble. And I know that you were also in deep trouble, but your attitude was excellent. How did you carry such a good attitude, through your difficulties like that?
At the beginning, to tell you the truth, I didn't want to go to the bridge. I didn't
Mm.
want to stay there 3 weeks and the unknown. It was so disturbing for me. Um, on Friday, I told my husband, no, I'm not going. I am just not gonna go and not going. And somehow, you know what? I believe in prayer. I stated, I prayed a lot, and my family was very supportive, my friends, and they said, you need to get better. And I said, if I'm gonna go and spend 3 weeks away from my family and everything that I love, um, I'm gonna put the best of me to
Mhm.
get this treatment. I'm gonna get my best out.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I said, once I sit down there, this is it. So that's what I did, and it worked for me.
Oh, well, it did. And the reason that it worked for you, and I can tell everybody this that has any desire to get better, the only reason it works is if you work. And there are people that come occasionally that they want something magic, they want to lay down or stay in bed, or and then have somebody come in and sprinkle dust on them and heal them, but it takes a lot of work.
It
And
does.
it takes a lot of work. So as you were kind of going through that process, coming from home, a long ways from home, 3 weeks away, I know you're homesick. I think if I remember right, you said you hadn't been away from your husband that long in your whole marriage. Is that right?
And that's completely true. Never. 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Never, never. So it was hard. It
Yeah.
was hard. I know it was hard for me, but it was very hard for him too.
I'll bet. I'll bet he ate a lot of takeout and pizza and fast food when you were gone.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, with the girls. Yeah, I have two grown girls and they took care of him, but but we're a very close family. So it was very hard for us to
Yeah.
be away. But at the beginning, the first day, I remember being in orientation. And after you gave the orientation, I went to talk to Carrie. And I said, okay, this is not for me.
Mhm.
You know what? I don't belong here.
Mhm.
And she said, please give it a try. And I said, okay, I'm going to give it a try. But when I do give a try for something, I put my all. And that's what I think people should do.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
not, they should stay home.
No, I agree. I agree. And it doesn't happen very often because the investment of time and distance and money is substantial.
And
So
money, yeah.
usually people come and they're ready to go, but not always. I mean, a lot of times people come and they want to be fixed, but they don't want to do the work. So one thing I do remember about you is you coming with a really good attitude. You didn't miss appointments. You worked really hard and you always came to class, both individual and group. You always came with insight and you were learning. I watched you take notes. Like it was really fun to watch you go through that process and to talk about your business. I don't know if I should talk about your business, but you're very
Oh,
successful
sure.
and very, very successful, a real estate franchise owner and actually has a bunch of franchises that she runs and has done it for a lot of years and has a really, really heavy work ethic anyway. But to come in and kind of put all that on hold and just focus on yourself. I know you do a lot for your family and your husband and your clients and your business, but was it hard to just put all of the energy on you for those 3 weeks? Did that feel good or did it feel strange or how was that?
At the beginning, it was so weird. You know, it was so weird to do nothing. On top of that, you guys take such good care of us. Everything is prepared. The accommodations are so beautiful. I thought, oh my goodness, this is going to be like a vacation. Like on the third day, I realized, I'm here. I'm going to take advantage of this. And it was such a treat. I I tell everybody, you know what? You deserve that for yourself. Oh
Mm.
my goodness, what a 3 weeks you plan, guys. That's just a treat.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. I know we only give you the schedule one day in advance.
Yes.
I would look at the whole session and think, oh man, I know who's coming. I know Cammie and Shelby are coming Thursday, and I know Dustin's here Friday, and then then we're gonna do the sweat, and then we're gonna head out to the lake, and I know we're going over to the horses on Saturday, and we're gonna go to Zion Park. I could see that, and a lot of people would say, oh, I don't know, today was really tough, and I always wanted to say, just be patient. Just there's so many things coming. Just hang in there. So
It
I'm
was amazing.
well, and as you work through that, I mean, you're very successful. You have a great marriage, you're a good woman, you have a good family. I mean, a lot of the stability that a lot of people don't. But how could you tell when your system was responding? How could you tell when you started to really like feel better?
It was a couple of days in, I started to feel no pain or less pain.
Yeah.
I could do the hikes, even though at the beginning they were very hard for me, because, my joints ache, but it was getting easier and easier and easier. My brain was, the fog was getting clear.
Mm.
So it was little by little. My husband asked me, Terry, what was it out of everything? And I said, I have no idea. It was a little bit of everything: the food, the classes, the sessions, the workouts, the people. You know what? The bonds that we have created with those people. You know, I love them.
Yeah. Yeah. And you had a really wonderful group too. You guys had a blast together.
Yeah.
But I like that you said that too. It's like years ago, my dad when he'd get his paycheck, he'd take us to the Golden Corral. It was a buffet, just a local.
Mhm.
And we looked so forward to that because we could have whatever we wanted and, ice cream at the end. And we loved going down there. And sometimes at the end of that, my dad would say, well, what made you full? And I'd be like, man, everything, I don't remember that. So, we talk about this some, but I like to look at the bridge as a big buffet of everything: Eastern medicine and Western medicine and talk therapy and experience therapy and outdoors and animals. And we're all over the place, but I also love that you said it didn't just happen, overnight. You had to just go little by little by little by little by little. So
Yeah.
I think that's a good sign that your recovery went deep, is that it was, progressed. It, like, little by little by little means that you got a little bit every day, and all of a sudden that feels much more solid.
Yeah, it was. The first week, it was a little tough, being away and everything. The second week, I thought I was in heaven, Dr. Brooks. And by the third, I just didn't want to leave.
Yeah. Well, we didn't want you guys to leave either. Sometimes there are sessions that the staff's like, oh, why don't we just do another 3 weeks with these guys? But I know you had to go home. But when you went home, could your family tell that you'd made some deep shifts and that your pain was less and all of those things were less? Was that fun to have your family kind of get to know that new version of you?
Of course, you know what? My daughter brings my granddaughter in the morning. And every time, I will get up in the morning, have my coffee with my husband, but I will wait for my baby girl, laying down on the couch. And my daughter said, Mom, you're sitting up now. And I used to take long naps, Dr. Brooke. And now I don't. I have so much energy. The problem is that all my friends, they look old to me now. They take long naps and they don't do big hikes, and I'm always going.
Oh, that's so fun. And for me too, like my own story, and lots of other stories over the years, I think unless I would have gone through it myself and then watched you guys do better than I did. Heavens, you guys are much better than I was, kind of hacking myself through that. But I think it's amazing when the mind and the body start to work together, that even though you have an illness like lupus, that's not a pretend illness. That's not just psychological. That's a real physical, really difficult illness. Even with that, still your body has the ability to reduce the pain and to reduce the inflammation and to reduce the depression and the need for sleep and rest. And it can be vigorous. It really can do. Even with the disease, it can still do really amazing things and really mitigate those symptoms.
Yeah, I went just right after the bridge to one of my infusions. They did the lab work, and you know what? I still have lupus.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry. I am diagnosed with lupus. I don't have it. It's not mine.
Love it. Love it. Has your husband had a hard time keeping up with you? I know that you said that he was going to be shocked at how physical you were, at how vigorous you were when you went home.
You know what? It's funny because sometimes, I'm doing everything around the house and running and everything. I say, aren't you tired? I said, nope.
Well, I love it. So if somebody was at home with, we can speak to all chronic cycles, but lupus particularly, if somebody at home with lupus was in a lot of pain and medicine wasn't working and lots of sleep and depression, and that started to creep in, what would you tell them? Or what could you say to them?
Give yourself the best chance of all. Go to the bridge, spend 3 weeks there and enjoy, but you have to do the work. Like you said before, Dr. Brooks, I went to every single session. I didn't miss one session. True. I went, there were some days that I had a lot of pain in the mornings, but I went to every hike. I went to every exercise classes. And it's the best opportunity that you have to feel better. And I was sick on my brain, on my head, that was the worst part. Not my body, my head. And you guys helped me to feel free of illnesses.
Yeah, I too, I mean, I still struggle and suffer with my own things, but I also have a much better idea of where they're coming from. So now I'm not nervous. So when I have pain, or when I am down, or when I am anxious, or when I can't sleep, I don't wonder what's wrong with me. Does that make sense? Like I do an assessment and say,
Yes.
okay, listen, Darren, come on. Like, what happened? Oh yeah, I'd had that phone call and I was late for this, and I missed that appointment with Terry. Dang it, but the fun part is now, and we talk about this during the program, is how wonderful for you to be your own primary care provider, where you go here first, and then you go here,
Yes.
then you go here, and you say, all right, what's going on? Like, I'm not going to be afraid. I'm not going to run. I'm not going to grab a pill necessarily. I want to understand what in the world is going on with my body and my mind, and what's happening. And lots of times the physical pain you can almost eliminate by just understanding those pieces. And did you find that? I mean, not just during the program, but after you've gone home.
Completely, Dr. Brooks. You know what? When I was taking my infusions every month, and they helped me, but I was in so much pain every day that I had to take painkillers almost every day. Since April 1st, that was the day that I got to the bridge, I haven't taken one painkiller.
Wow.
Zero, zero, sipo, nada.
Wow. That I did not know that. That's amazing.
Zero, zero. I'm
Wow.
not saying that sometimes I have a little pain, but I
Sure.
know how to, like you were saying, I know how to deal with it. And I say, well, you know what? I haven't been eating that well, so I need to improve my eating,
Yeah.
and or meditate, or do some yoga, or get a massage, get something other than the painkiller.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. I mean, I'm so glad that you mentioned that. And
Yeah.
that's such a good testament of you surviving beautifully with lupus. You get your infusions. It keeps that disease at bay, but at the same time, the pain,
The pain.
the second layer of misery is either not there or very manageable, which is, I mean, that's exactly what the bridge really is all about. I love hearing that from you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, since April, I haven't taken any medications for pain, and I told the doctor, you know what? Because she used to give me those steroids,
Yeah.
the ones that you have to take 3 days,
Yeah. Yeah.
for pain.
Mhm.
Sometimes
Yeah.
I don't get them anymore.
Wow. Wow, I'm so proud of you. That's amazing. I love it. I love that. I love that wonderful story. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, anything else? I don't want to keep you all afternoon, but it's I mean, I talk to you all day, but I won't. I know you've got things to do. I know you had a family party and stuff today. So but anything else you'd like to say to anybody that's struggling or suffering, or maybe just anything? I'd love to I'll let you wrap it up.
Okay. What I just want to say is, if you have the chance, do it. If you had, if you don't have the chance, make it and do it, because that's the best 3 weeks of your life. So, and I thank you, Dr. Brooks, for putting it together. And, the staff is wonderful, guys. I haven't said anything about the staff. My goodness, couldn't be the sweetest people ever.
Yeah,
So
they are special. The staff is incredible.
incredible.
They're incredible. And I brag about them all the time, but I'll say it again. We don't have staff meetings because we don't need staff meetings. We communicate, everybody trusts everybody. Issues, of course, come up. We solve them instantly. We move on. Like, it's a pleasure. I don't manage anybody or anything. I take no credit. Like, everybody just does a great job. So it's really fun.
And your providers,
Yeah.
first class providers.
Yeah.
Another thing that I would say, for people who want to go, keep up with the aftercare.
Yeah.
I loved it. I did every single session, and some extras that you guys gave me extra. So it was very fun.
I love it. Yeah, the aftercare is important. So if you
Very
do
important.
bridge, you have 3 or 4 months of aftercare that includes meetings and individual sessions with your favorite providers that kind of help you stay on track and follow you after you go home, to make sure that the principles integrate into your personal space, not just the bridge of space so that you can kind of take the bridge home with you. So I love that little plug for the aftercare. It is really important.
Yes.
Terry, it's a
That's
pleasure. Thank you again. I'm so appreciative. Thanks for making the time and putting up with my schedule all over the place. I'm so appreciative. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Brooks. You know what? I will thank you forever, and you and your family will be in my prayers forever.
Well, that's so kind of you, and yours as well. We love you guys, and we'll talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll see
Thank
you.
you. Bye.